Captain Sorin Vega stood on the observation deck of the Galactic Union's flagship, Helios Ascendant. His eyes, sharp and unwavering, were locked on the endless void of space, his hands resting calmly behind his back. Around him, his crew murmured softly, casting nervous glances at the alien vessel approaching them. It was a sleek silver crescent, shimmering like molten metal under the distant light of the star they orbited. "Incoming transmission, Captain," said Lieutenant Nova Tevis, her voice a mixture of excitement and anxiety. The signal had come from the mysterious ship that had just appeared on their sensors. "Put it on screen," Sorin replied, his tone controlled but curious. The screen flickered to life, revealing a being with smooth blue skin and eyes that gleamed like molten gold. "I am Lornak of the Zentari Explorers. We come in peace," the alien said, their voice a low, melodic hum. Sorin took a step forward, standing tall before the holographic image. "I am Captain Sorin Vega of the Galactic Union. We return your greetings, Lornak." Lornak's golden eyes widened slightly as he studied the crew. "Fascinating. Our scans detected a lesser-developed civilization, yet here you stand, capable of space travel and communication. We've learned to navigate the stars for some time now," Sorin said with a tight smile. "What brings you to our corner of the galaxy?" "We explore," Lornak replied, "seeking out new civilizations. Though, to be candid, we didn't expect to find anything beyond primitive life on a Class 1 planet such as yours." "Class 1? Sorin raised an eyebrow. Lornak nodded, his gaze still curious. "It is a designation for planets with the most basic technological advancements and minimal environmental threats. Essentially, planets deemed non-threatening." Sorin's crew exchanged uneasy glances. Non-threatening wasn't a word often associated with their homeworld, New Solis. "Our planet has its challenges," Sorin said calmly, "but we've learned to adapt." Lornak gave a deep, resonant chuckle. "I am eager to see what you define as challenges, Captain Vega. Perhaps we can arrange a meeting?" Sorin nodded. "I'd be honored to show you what New Solis and its people are capable of." "We accept," Lornak said, a gleam of interest in his golden eyes. "Prepare for our arrival." As the transmission ended, Sorin turned to his crew. "Get ready to welcome our guests. Let's make sure they understand what New Solis is truly about." The Zentari shuttle docked smoothly in the Helios Ascendant's hangar, its metallic hull reflecting the ambient light of the distant star. Captain Vega and his team stood ready at the airlock as Lornak and his entourage stepped out. "Welcome aboard the Helios Ascendant, pride of the Galactic Union fleet," Sorin said, extending his hand in the universal gesture of peace. Lornak took the offered hand, his grip cool and firm. "Impressive," he said, his eyes scanning the massive ship, "for a civilization categorized as Class 1. "Our achievements come from necessity," Sorin said as he guided the Zentari through the corridors. "Our planet does not make survival easy." In the conference room, Sorin had prepared a series of holographic displays. They depicted violent storms tearing across the planet's surface, volcanic eruptions spewing molten lava, and massive predators stalking the dense forests of New Solis. As Lornak watched the footage, his expression shifted from amusement to respect. "You face these conditions regularly?" Lornak asked, his voice losing its earlier arrogance. "Indeed," Sorin replied. "We've learned to survive and thrive through these challenges." Lornak's golden eyes reflected the images on the screen, his earlier condescension giving way to admiration. "Your people are survivors, Captain Vega. Perhaps we have more to learn from you than we anticipated." "Perhaps," Sorin said, standing beside him and gazing out at the stars. "Perhaps you do." The journey to the Galactic Council's main station was filled with tension and anticipation. Captain Vega sat in his quarters aboard the Helios Ascendant, reviewing his notes and practicing the speech he would deliver. This would be New Solis's first chance to challenge the Galactic Council's classification of their world. As the Helios Ascendant approached the station, a massive structure orbiting a serene blue giant, Sorin was struck by its alien architecture. A harmonious blend of styles from civilizations across the galaxy. He and his team were led through the grand halls of the station, eventually entering the council chamber, a vast circular room with delegates from dozens of species. At the far side, Sorin spotted Lornak, who gave him a subtle nod. the sound of a gavel echoed in the chamber. "The assembly will come to order," announced a delegate seated at the center. "We welcome Captain Sorin Vega, representing the planet New Solis." Sorin stepped forward, clearing his throat. "Honored delegates, I stand before you today not only to introduce my world, but to challenge a misconception." The room buzzed with whispers as Sorin continued. "New Solis has been classified as a Class 1 planet. This classification vastly underestimates both our technological achievements and the resilience of our people." A delegate, a tall, crystalline being known for their ecological expertise, scoffed. "Are you suggesting your planet is more formidable than we believe?" "Yes, that's exactly what I'm suggesting," Sorin replied, his voice strong. "We face extreme environmental challenges, massive storms, seismic activity, dangerous predators on a regular basis. And yet, we endure." A holographic display appeared above Sorin, showing dramatic footage of natural disasters on New Solis. Cyclones ravaging cities, lava flows threatening villages, and the people of New Solis adapting to survive. The chamber fell silent as the delegates watched, captivated. Lornak, from his seat, spoke up. "Survival alone doesn't warrant reclassification or inclusion in the council, Captain." "Perhaps not," Sorin agreed, meeting Lornak's gaze. "But it does deserve respect, and we seek the opportunity to prove that the strength we've gained from overcoming our world's challenges makes us a valuable member of the galactic community." A delegate with shimmering skin raised a hand. "How do you propose to prove this?" Sorin smiled slightly. "Send a delegation to New Solis, see for yourselves. Or allow us to participate in your trials, challenges designed to test a civilization's worthiness." The council members whispered among themselves, considering his words. After a few moments, the central delegate spoke. "We will deliberate. In the meantime, we accept your invitation. A delegation will visit New Solis to observe its conditions firsthand." "Thank you," Sorin said, nodding. "We will be ready." Back on New Solis, Captain Sorin Vega convened an emergency meeting with the planet's top leaders. In the secure conference room at the Galactic Union headquarters, Sorin stood before a large holographic map of New Solis outlining his plan. "The Galactic Council's delegation is coming to observe," Sorin began. "We need to show them why New Solis is not to be underestimated." Dr. Mira Valen, a leading scientist, nodded. "We can highlight the severe weather patterns, hurricanes, volcanic eruptions, and the vast wildlife that poses constant danger." General Tyrus Malik, a decorated military leader, added, "We should also demonstrate our tactical advancements, how we've adapted to the extreme conditions of our world." "Agreed," Sorin said. "We'll need to compile as much data as possible, videos, reports, and live demonstrations. We have a lot to show." The team broke into groups, each tasked with showcasing a different aspect of life on New Solis. Sorin led a team to document the planet's frequent storms. In one of the coastal cities, they filmed a Category 5 hurricane, its massive waves crashing against the shoreline as evacuation efforts took place. Meanwhile, Dr. Valen's team ventured deep into the volcanic regions, where they captured footage of molten lava flows threatening settlements. They interviewed local scientists and emergency personnel to show how the people of New Solis had developed early warning systems and strategies to deal with the constant threat of eruptions. In the dense jungles, General Malik's team filmed the wild, dangerous fauna, predators with razor-sharp claws and venomous creatures that roamed the planet's forests. They also highlighted how the military had developed strategies to survive in these hazardous environments. As the footage was compiled back at headquarters, Sorin reviewed the presentations with pride. Their planet, though challenging, had bred a people who were tough, adaptable, and unyielding. Now, it was time to show the Galactic Council what New Solis was made of. The day the Galactic Council delegation arrived was marked by a flurry of activity. Sorin greeted the alien visitors at the Galactic Union headquarters, extending a warm welcome. "Thank you for coming," Sorin said, addressing the group of delegates, including Lornak. "Today, we'll show you the true nature of New Solis." The delegation was taken to an auditorium where Sorin and his team had prepared an extensive presentation. The first video showed the violent hurricanes, waves ripping through the cities, and how the people had adapted to deal with such chaos. Next came footage of volcanic eruptions, wildfires, and the treacherous wildlife of New Solis, each scene demonstrating not just the dangers, but the ingenuity and resilience of the planet's inhabitants. When the presentation ended, the room was silent. Sorin stood at the front, his posture strong, as he awaited their judgment. Lornak stood first. "Captain Vega, you've certainly shown us that New Solis is not a Class 1 planet.